Hi, hello everyone, it's your pal Berg787 back with a brand new Let's Play series, and yes, it is Thorek Ironbrow, as voted for by you, the viewers. It's a little bit later than advertised. It was meant to start about 2 weeks back, but personal life, work, I do this professionally, unfortunately, so I do have a real job, and work and life sometimes gets in the way. But here we are, nonetheless. We are going to be getting this underway, so let's have a little look at Thorek. What is his starting army? Starting army starts off with Ironbreakers. So good. Ironbreakers are just might be my favourite infantry unit in the game. They're just so strong. Anyway, that's awesome. Dwarf warriors, some longbeards with great weapons, some quarrelers, and a grudge thrower. All cool. His faction effects, he gets 100% extra oath gold from oath gold building, so good, more oath gold, brilliant. Oath gold cost for crafting runes, minus 50%, which is good, but I mean, a lot of this, as you start to expand, it doesn't really become a problem. Like, once you sort of reach the midway point of the game, oath gold really stops being, not relevant, you still need it, but in terms of oh my god, I don't have enough of it. That's what stops being relevant. Hero recruit rank +5 for runesmiths. Now that's an actual recruit rank buff. There's too many legendary lords which I see who have recruit rank for whatever hero +1. It's what? Who cares about +1? +5, that's good. That's really good. And minus 25% upkeep for runesmiths. If I had to choose between these two, I'd take the +5 over the 25%, but I mean, it's nice to have. Lord effects, all of his army get +10 armor. Okay, it's fine, pretty good. This is much better though. Armor piercing +3 weapon damage for everyone in his army, so that is pretty sweet. So if we just go down here to the humble dwarf warrior, I'm presuming that's not including his armor piercing damage that increases by +3, so that increases it by a hefty amount when you think that it's only +7 to start with. So up to 10, that's really sweet. And reload reduction time +15% for bolt throwers. Grudge throwers and quarrelers. Bolt throwers, just word of advice now, just never buy that unit. It's trash. Grudge throwers good. Quarrelers good. You can pretty much rock these with Thorek the whole campaign. I don't think there's really much else to talk about. We are on legendary, very hard and all that stuff. So let's go. So we do have a lot of grudges to start with Thorek, which sucks a little bit. There's a load of items that we need to get. I'm not going to read all of those, but for those of you who are unfamiliar, it freaked me out there for a second. I was like, what's going on? But victory conditions, we need to reforge. Well, it's the short of the campaign, but let's just pretend it's... Well, no, we need to do that anyway. But we need to reforge at least 5 artifacts via the forge. And occupy, loot, raise 30 settlements. Obviously, we're going to go for the long victory condition, so choose short victory condition. Occupy, loot, raise, sack 70 different settlements, and ensure that the total severity of grudges in the grudge book is no greater than 9. Current severity 48. That's going to go up a lot because it will take us a while to clear some of these grudges. In case you're wondering what these artifacts are, these are these special ones from that Thorek gets, which gives you some sort of every one that you forge gives you a boost. So with this one, the keepsake of Gazul's Favoured, we get to summon a unique ancestral hero. Raton's Collar of the Bestial Control, we get a yoked Carnosaur. Pretty cool. And then so on and so forth. There's all of these down here, which I'm not going to go through just now, but we need to get these special items, and you can see where they are if we zoom out on the map. At least you used to be able to see where they were. I swear there was like a little... Oh, no, you can still see. Okay, so there we go. You see that little thing spinning around? Well, if we take the golden tower, we get an artifact. I'm sure if I just keep doing this, zooming around... Yeah, there we go. So you can see one there. You can see one there. One there. I don't know exactly where they all are, but they're generally in this kind of direction. I don't think there's many south or to the east. Yeah, I don't believe there's any down this way. So, yeah, we're going to be looking to go up north. But that's the victory condition. Pretty straightforward, really, compared to some. Don't have to, destroy anyone or conquer someone specific. It's just reforge all those artifacts. Make sure our grudge meter up here is not super high. What was it, down below 9? So it has to be somewhere over there. And just smash up a bunch of random cities. All good. If we do go to the grudges, so obviously we're going to accumulate. If we go here, grudge severity will accumulate the longer these stay out. So it will take a while to get all that down. But these are all basically grudges for those artifacts right now. But we'll obviously get more as we go along. We do start off with this guy, Runesmith. Let's see if we were lucky or not. Intelligent. It's not lucky at all. That's pretty terrible, but there you go. What can you do? Thorek Ironbrow. He's pretty good. He's not pretty good just yet, though. A little bit lackluster right now. Not too bad. A lot of armor. Melee attack, melee defense, not too bad. Okay weapon strength for a legendary lord who can fight. 400's not amazing, but does have pretty good armor piercing, which is good. Does start off with 2 abilities in terms of his Rune of Oath and Steel, which is okay. Not one I particularly use a lot of. And the Rune of Speed, which is pretty good. Adds plus 24 melee attack. And the speed is like an additional bonus, but the plus 24 melee attack is really handy because one thing that dwarves generally do lack, especially their infantry, is melee attack. Very good at melee defense, but not very good at melee attack, so that's really good. He does start off as a siege attacker. Has resilience. He's immune to mountain snow attrition. Courage, hide, wounds. Master of ancient law, so decreases cooldowns by 5 seconds if you're engaged in melee. He has missile resistance and pretty decent spell resistance as well. He does start off with a couple of ancillaries, so he has this Rune of Stoicism, which gives a unit plus... it has to be a unit, not a character. You can see plus 8 versus large. Also does give them unbreakable and expert charge defense, which, in case you're wondering, expert charge defense means that you get it negate, like normal charge defense, I believe, negates against cavalry, whereas expert charge defense negates against anyone who charges into you. So. He also has this Craggy, Assistant at the Forge, which miscast minus 15%, whatever. And he has this Rune of Burning, which you can assign on any artillery unit, and it gives it an explosive damage, like boom, which is quite sweet. So that's all good. And let's go to his skills. So as always, we'll start off at the top. Anvil of Doom. You certainly want to get the Anvil of Doom. If nothing else, then I believe it does. It's annoying. I can't actually click and then hold it to show you there, but I believe it does it come with its own Mortis engine? I can't remember. It has like a Mortis engine effect, or it does have some sort of buffing effect, and I think it is like a Mortis engine effect, but unfortunately I can't quite hold it. But we will get it. It's at rank 9, so we'll get it not too far away. It does also give him some physical resistance as well. Anyway, Veteran Anvil Guard, pretty good for Thorek. Plus 8 to melee attack and melee defense, always nice. Rune Master is something you certainly want to get. Not necessarily for the miscast base, but the decrease in miscast base chance, which is nice, but it's really that shared cooldown minus 15% for all Master Rune magic. Greater Locus of Power is okay. Anytime you get like a bound spell like that, which does a bit of pop, it's always pretty good. And the Rune of Grimnir, missile resistance plus 10%. It's nothing that... I mean, it's like a filler skill, right? If you had nothing else to take and you take it. But I guess when you're sieging and stuff like that, it's never too bad to have a bit of extra missile resist, because towers and stuff like that do like to go for your lords, but it's hardly critical. His main skills, so he gets Fiery Temper, which is a little explosion. Quite nice. Again, anything that can do damage, it's always handy. But really, the important thing here is that it unlocks this. It also lowers the cooldown for the Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin, which is pretty good. It's certainly something that you like to use a lot. There it is. So yeah, this is pretty good though. Exacting Standards gives shared cooldown for all rune magic minus 10% is what you like. It also has gives this rune, the Master Rune of Stromny Redbeard, which gives a buff to anyone within 35 meters, whoever's using it. Plus 5 melee attack and some leadership, which is pretty sweet. And action suggest chance for all runesmiths. I mean, we don't use runesmiths on the map too much, just because with dwarves you don't have an abundance of heroes. That's a little bit of a problem. You've got the runesmiths, you've got the thanes, but it's not necessarily the easiest thing to get loads of them. So we don't tend to use them on the map. But if we did, it's quite nice, the 15% success chance for all heroes. Orny's Overseer, more oath gold. The construction and construction time is quite good for Thorek, especially because he's usually going to be out in front conquering new lands, so the fact that he can instantly get stuff to be built cheaper and quicker is quite good when you need to get up, the infrastructure of a newly conquered province quickly, so that's quite handy. The Runic Talisman, pretty sweet. This is where he gets that Mortis Engine effect. Sorry, I might have been confusing it with the Anvil of Doom. Master Rune of Spite, which is excellent. Any Mortis Engine effect is great. It also gives him 5% ward save, and it also gives that Master Rune of Grungni, which 20% missile resistance for all units within that 35 meter effective range, which is quite nice. And then Proven Tech, anti-large projectiles home in on targets from grudge throwers. Quite good, obviously, because the grudge thrower is not necessarily designed to take on large units, but when it homes in, when it's boulder or whatever it's throwing homes in on them, that's pretty good. Quarrelers receive an extra 50% armor piercing damage, which is amazing. It's amazing. One of the main reasons why you can basically use Quarrelers throughout the whole of the campaign, and regardless of who you're fighting when you're Thorek. And hold on as I take a swig of coffee. Rune of Burning Projectiles cause explosive damage and reduce leadership for bolt throwers, which is a shame because the bolt thrower is trash. And finally, Runic Production Line. So, Lord's Army, everyone gets Frenzy, which is awesome for dwarves specifically because of that melee attack. And they get to use that Frenzy quite a lot as well, because their leadership, generally speaking, dwarf leadership is pretty high. So for it to drop below 50%, it takes a bit of quite a while. But just if it didn't give anything else other than just gave you plus 10 melee attack, it would be awesome, because dwarves certainly need that melee attack. Then we have the rune spells, so we'll go over them very quickly. Rune of Speed, really nice because of that melee attack. The 45% speed buff is kind of nice, but it's better at the end of fights if you're looking to chase down the enemy lord, to kill him to get a bit of extra cash and stuff like that. That's when that speed really comes in, but mainly you're looking for that melee attack. Rune of Oath and Steel, again, not amazing, situationally good, but not great. Rune of Wrath and Ruin, very good. Boom boom, drop stuff down, explode, does some armor piercing damage, really handy. Dampening, you'll get it, but it does what it says on the tin. Enemy wins in magic power reserves minus 10% when increasing. Who cares? Rune of Slowness. Again, if you're chasing something down, it's quite nice to have. And also makes it so stuff can't escape you, which dwarves do have a bit of a problem when you're trying to focus, let's say, some sort of dragon or some sort of big beastie and it looks to get away. You can slow it down, keep it stuck in, shoot it down, all good. Forge Fire. Anything that's passive, you can't really moan about. You don't have to do anything about it. So, but yeah, it lowers armor for everyone in and around Thorek by 15 at 35 meters. That's pretty good. Rune of Breaking imbues the unit with you select on with armor sundering, and it increases the base weapon damage and armor piercing damage, which is quite sweet, especially in duels. Rune of Negation, damage resistance. Pretty sweet. Again, it's a bit of a dually spell. Like if Thorek's taking someone on, you might want to drop it down on him, especially if someone's a bit, tough or something like that. Or if a specific unit you need to just hold somewhere, it's pretty handy to drop that down as well. But again, I like to call it more of a dual spell. The Rune of Hearth and Home, vigor loss. Immune to psychology, okay, whatever. But that vigor loss is quite nice to keep your chappies fresh in the fight, and it affects all allies within a 55 meter range. Quite good. Ward Breaker is super good. So enemy spell resistance minus 10% and missile resistance minus 10%. That is really good, especially for someone who's going to be using quite a lot of missile units in his army. That is a super great debuff to have it for Thorek. And finally, something you definitely want to get: the Strike the Runes, which lowers the shared cooldown by 10% for all rune magic. Really, really good. Alright, on to his Redline skills. So these are the same regardless of what dwarf character you use, but we will just go through them very quickly and talk about what we want to get for Thorek's army in particular. So, unit experience gain plus 75 per turn. I mean, you're going to get Inspiring Presence. The fact that it's more than just 5% leadership is quite nice, that extra 75. It's not, game breaking or anything else, but it ticks along. So it's nice that it's added in there. Axe Lord is pretty good. Unfortunately, with Axe Lord, eventually you will get Ironbreakers to be your front line. So on Thorek, I don't want to say it's wasted because it's still good. It will take time before you get them in, but if you didn't use it, if you didn't get it, I wouldn't say that you're, wrong, if that makes sense. I might well get it. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. But that plus 6 melee defense and melee attack is pretty sweet. You could just put 2 points into it. If this was plus 8, it would be much more tempting to get the third point. But I do think that you can probably just, if you want to save on points, getting 2 points in it is pretty nice because that extra 4 melee attack is pretty sweet, especially for Dwarven Warriors and Longbeards. But again, if you don't want to use it at all, I certainly do understand, but I still think you should at least get 2 points in it. Tactician is a no-brainer. Quarrelers, Thunderers, pretty much any build with dwarves, you're going to have some of those. We will obviously be having Quarrelers in Thorek's army specifically. But even if you're not, if you're going to be using Quarrelers or Thunderers to some degree in your army, so certainly Tactician is something that you want to get. Tradition, Innovation. Gimmicky. Gyrocopters and bombers are pretty good. You don't get them till later on, though. Bolt throwers you just shouldn't use. They're just rubbish. I wish CA would do something about them because they're just really bad. So the skill itself isn't bad, especially for the gyro bombers and gyrocopters. Giving them more ammo and range is quite sweet, but again, it's a bit niche, I would say. You'd be specifically making a build around gyrocopters and bombers rather than for the bolt thrower. Fire and Fury. Iron Drakes are good. I do like Iron Drakes and the Flame Cannon, but again, you don't actually get them till later on, and they're a bit niche. The skill in itself, okay, missile strength. Not really what Iron Drakes or the Flame Cannon need. Range would have been quite nice. The reload time reduction, okay. The missile strength, again, those missile strengths are pretty big on the Flame Cannon and Iron Drakes anyway, so I would have preferred to see a bit more range. Grimney's Heirs, you will be getting this because you do want Iron Breakers, and it's also good to get because how you're going to... One of the knock-on effects of constantly having high grudge, like the you know what I'm talking about, like the fact that our grudge level is high, so like, you know, our populace is angry, is the fact that you get slayers a lot. They generate, so you can grab them. So you're always, not always, but you quite often will have some slayers in your army, whether it's regular slayers or giant slayers, and you will be getting ironbreakers. So I certainly would recommend getting Grimnir's Heirs, but again, it's not an early game type thing. You can get it a bit later on, and it's certainly not straight away what you want to get. And finally, Thunderer. This helps Grudge Throwers, Cannon, and Organ Gun. You will have some combination of these in your armies, regardless of what type of dwarf or what dwarf lord you're using. So more ammunition and more missile strength is a no-brainer. Rally. Okay, dwarves don't really suffer too much from that, but this is sort of generic copy-pasta type stuff. I think pretty much most lords have that. And then their veterancy skills. So Blessed by Grungi. More armor, more defense, spell resistance. I like the spell resistance, just because there are some spells that can really F up dwarves. The melee defense, I think, is a little bit overboard. It's not what they need. It would have been nicer to get them some melee attack or something else, but they don't really need the armor or the melee defense. Especially it just seems a bit overkill. Spell resistance is not the best. It's okay, it's fine. I mean, you never really turned down more melee defense, but it would have been nice if you could have got some melee attack out of veterancy for their infantry units. Dowie Firepower, so this helps pretty much most of your infantry-based ranged units, and it gives them more strength, more reload time, more missile resistance, which is cheekily underrated. The enemy AI will target your missile units with their missile unit, so the extra missile resistance is quite sweet. The other two are pretty good as well. Honoured by Grimny, just pretty good. This is a really good really good veterancy skill is what I meant to say. More melee attack for giant slayers, hammerers, and ironbreakers. More weapon strength and a cheeky 10% physical resist to boot. Really nice. And finally, Morgrim's favoured. More ammunition for your cannons and artillery. So more ammunition by quite a lot as well. 20% is quite a hefty buff. More missile strength and reload reduction time. Really good. And then finally, Stand Your Ground, which again is a bit of a copy pasta. Most people have this. Plus 24 melee defense and leadership. Right, finally, onto the blue line skills. I promise we will get into some gameplay. Route Marcher, obviously you will take. Out of these, so you've got the Intercept in the Underways. You've got Wall Master, which means you suffer less attrition and they suffer more attrition when sieging. Purebeard, the Corruption, and Mason, construction costs and local province settlement buildings. None of these are particularly amazing. I'll just right out say it. Probably Mason, but intercepting, it is quite annoying when you get random what do you call it, stacks. Beastmen like just appear in your lands. So to have this so they can't escape you as easily is quite nice, and you will be dealing with Skaven at some stage, who obviously can who can do that as well. So and you know, you will be dealing with orcs as well at some stage. So it is quite handy to have. But I do think between these two are your choice, whether you put 3 in here, 1 in there, or 3 in there, 1 in there. But that's what I will do. These two, meh. So great. Iron Willed, nice. Increases your replenishment rate just for the Lord. So just for Thorek, which is a bit of a shame. It would be nice if it was at least Lord and Heroes. And it reduces his wound recovery time by 1. But whatever. Lightning Strike. You know what Lightning Strike is at this stage. Reassuring Presence. Attrition. Depends if you want it. Replenishment I certainly would want to get. Dwarves have very low replenishment, so I definitely get this. And Unflappable. Again, it kind of doubles up with this, the Miner's Instinct. Really, no one can escape you. But again, it's kind of more of a maybe you want to take Mason instead of Miner's Instinct, because you'll get more of a buff if you want to take this down here, and if you're scared of getting ambushed. But it's up to you. Personally, I would just put 3 here, and ignore these two because there's other skills that you need to get. But whatever. An Inquiring Mind, really good. Plus 10% research, upkeep minus 8%. Yada, yada, yada. All pretty good. Finally, his quests. Thorek's armor. Plus 15 armor. Really? On a 130 armor unit already? Whatever. 15% fire resistance. Okay. More spell resistance, so he can become pretty immune to spells. And you get this Thorek's rune armor passive, which gives even more armor and fire resistance, except not just to himself, but to units around him. To put it politely, this unit is pretty trash. This item is pretty trash. I do think you just get it, though, for free, from what I remember. I don't even think you have to fight. Like, once you hit rank 7, you just get it. But at least there's that. But I could be wrong on that, though. Don't quote me. I mean, that might be a mistake. But it's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad piece of armor. Cladbacrack. I mean, you already can get Frenzy in his skills, so what do you need an item that gives you Frenzy? And that Frenzy, I could understand if that Frenzy was just for himself. So you thought, okay, maybe, you know, if you don't want to spend a skill point there, you've got something else you might want to spend the skill point, but it gives it to his whole army, so you're gonna get that skill. So why does this special item give him Frenzy as well? Like, what's the point? Really bad. Sundering attacks. I mean, there's literally a rune spell that gives you that. The bombardment spell, now that is pretty good. I'm not going to lie, that is pretty good. 100% armor piercing damage, explosive damage. I mean, look how much damage that does, and it's a bound spell. I mean, not that matters with dwarves, I suppose, but that is good. Not gonna lie, that is pretty good. But the other two units that it's basically you might as well just get rid of that shit and just say this is what it gives you, this bombardment. Need rework as far as I'm concerned. These items, they really need to be reworked. They do have a bonus if you have them together, where you get the oath gold cost for recrafting rooms is minus 25%, and you do get +1 control in all provinces, which whatever. But they're pretty. There's not too many legendary lords who have a worse combination of armor, of like weaponry or special items. They're just not very, very good at all. Pretty much everything here is useless. Apart from the bombardment spell, that's pretty good. But everything else is like, whatever. Why do I need that? Anyway, I'm just gonna get angry now. So let's talk about something else. Let's talk about research. So what I like to do, and this isn't just with Thorek actually, this is with all dwarves, is early doors especially, and just throughout the game, your ranged units are going to be carrying you. Your infantry is there basically to protect your range units. It's a fact of life. Dwarf infantry, whilst is solid, sturdy, it's not good at killing stuff. So how are you going to kill stuff? You're going to kill stuff with your missile infantry and your artillery. So to do that, we need to come down here. We need to go to ammunition wagons, really good. We need to go to volley fire, which is the reload reduction time, really good. We need to go to interchangeable parts to lower the upkeep for artillery. Reload reduction time for artillery, and more artillery upkeep reduction and ammunition. Now, to be fair, you don't have to go here just straight away. I would beeline to here 100% to get that more ammunition for missile infantry and the reload time reduction for missile infantry. Then you can kind of jump around a little bit, depends on what you need at the time, but you will want to come back and get these free as well. I quite often like to go to here. This is actually a technology that I swear they've changed around loads in the time since Warhammer 1. So I think originally this was like +5. I think back in the days of Warhammer 1, I think it was +5 melee attack, +5 melee defense, which was super duper good. Then for most of the time in Warhammer 2, I believe they reduced it to +2, which made it, do I really want to bother getting it? It's still kind of in that range of do I really want to bother getting it at +3, but I don't mind it at +3. I know it doesn't seem like much of a difference between +2 and +3, but for some reason in my head it does. So I might actually go and get that. But we'll see. This is pretty good as well. Those diplomatic relations with humans and high elves. is really handy. So it could just be this that I go and get as well. But we'll see. This is certainly the first bit. So in fact, I'm just going to go bang like that because that's definitely what we're doing. And then we'll come back to it. Almost there, don't worry. Karak Zorn. Let's have a little look at it. It does have a unique building, which is available on Tier 1, but there is 0 point in building it on Tier 1. It's one of the weirdest landmark buildings there is. The fact that it's available on Tier 1, but there is 0 reason for you to build it on Tier 1. Like, in itself, you look at the building and you think, oh, that's pretty good. Lord recruit rank +1. Always nice when you can increase the rank of Lords. Minus 10% upkeep for Longbeards. Brilliant. You know, that's really good. Longbeards are a pretty good unit that you can use pretty much most of the game if you want to. Recruitment rank, who cares? Recruitment cost, who cares? Recruitment rank for Longbeards, good. Recruitment capacity +2 also provides the garrison with 2 units. It's a pretty good building. Yeah, okay, when are you going to actually build it, though? When are you going to put it in? So, what are you going to do? Not build the gold mine? No, of course you're going to build the gold mine, right? Gold mine must be built. Then, what else are you going to build, right? Now, you could say, okay, we need to get rid of this. Yeah, we do need to get rid of this. But we kind of need walls. We kind of need this refectory. There's so many other things which are better. Now, think about once we get it to Tier 5, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's no room for this building, unfortunately. You can drop this building because you can build it somewhere else, but you're not going to be turning down this much money with all the buffs as well that come into it, and also that money will go up because there are skills in the or technologies that increase the income of gold and stuff like that. So this is definitely a build. You could make an argument for the Hall of Oaths because Thanes, I mentioned earlier, you do lack units on the map, so you do want Thanes, but fair enough, and also Lord Recruit rank. You definitely want this, because you want Runesmiths, you need Runesmiths. You definitely want this for the research rate, and you need Master Engineers, of course. You will want Control, because you're going to be far away from your home. You will want this, because it increases trade, makes you more money, increases the income from all buildings. And also, if you built this, then you're going to want this as well. And again, this does get buffs and technology as well to give you even more money. So where are you going to build this building? Where are you going to build it? You should never have a landmark building which you look at and go, when am I going to build it? A unique landmark building should just be auto builds as far as I'm concerned. And unfortunately, the Hall of Ancestors, it's not awful, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see where I'm going to build it. Anyway, enough of that. We will upgrade this, and we will upgrade this as well. We will eventually destroy this, but for now we need this here. Because we need to get
an accord bound by it shall be done.
Alright, cool. Let's quickly have a look at diplomacy as well. So we know these chaps. All good. I wouldn't mind piecing up with the last defenders just for the time being, but I am going to have to go to war with them. Because I need to take that from them. So, I don't know. We don't actually have any options anyway, so never mind. First order of business, though, is taking out the what they call the Arachnos greenskins. So let's go. Just want to make sure our units have the right thing. How strange is that? Because it says it should be assigned to a non-character unit, but yet it's assigned to Thorek. You see what I mean? Like, that shouldn't be allowed. It should be... I should have to put it on something over here. Maybe it doesn't work on him if it's... Yeah, maybe it doesn't work because it's on him. I don't get that. It says assigned to non-character unit, though, so I don't understand. No, it does work because he's got his bonus versus large there. How strange. Alright, cool, well, whatever. This fight isn't too bad. It looks worse when you just look at it at first. You're like, whoa, loads of units. But really, there's only one unit that you have to worry about. And that's the spider. That spider specifically, the Arachnarok, not all of the other spiders. Okay.
War machine ready.
I kind of want to set up as far back and still be able to shoot. Probably set up even further back. Just because I want to get maximum value out of our range. I don't like this color contrast as well. I can't see where my where I'm shooting.
Warriors! Dwarf warriors! For the High King! Iron breakers! Come down. Let's show these dwarf warriors! Kazook! Dwarf warriors!
Yeah, I like to paint pretty lines with my dwarfs. Get in a little bit close. They look so sweet. I love Thorek's like colour scheme as well for his dwarves. They look badass. Hiding behind this bush. The Iron Breakers. Just look how menacing the Iron Breakers look, man. So badass. So badass. The Longbeards are great weapons. Going to use as a bit of a sweeper unit. They look pretty awesome as well. Look like fake hammerers. Let's get Thorek.
To the forge.
And the Runesmith. We'll have a look at them as well. Look at him with his shiny hammer. And the Runesmith over here.
This house belonged to my father's father. Will of Iron! Dwarf warriors! Grudge thrower!
Let's go. So 37 minutes before we actually engage our first fight. Chuff 2.
Anu! Run Ricky! Come on!
We need Thorek out front because he's going to take on the spider. He's going to go one-on-one versus it with his bonus versus large, and we will drop some buffs on him as well. And just to keep it from running into our infantry, and then the quarrelers will also jab it up. Don't really care about these spiders on the side. They shouldn't really be able to do too much damage to us.
Glow. Yes, Lord! Kazook!
Don't really care about their boys either, especially considering they seem to be on a one-way street to taking on our Iron Breakers, and our Iron Breakers will just like lob stuff at them. Lob their explosives. Don't mind them shooting at this right now. Once the Arachnarok does get into range, we will obviously change target.
Let the vengeance begin! Go! Grudge thrower!
Alright, I think it is in range.
Longbeards! Thorek Ironbrow! The anvil's might!
Come on.
Vengeance! Attack! For the ancestors!
I don't know why they weren't firing. That was really weird.
Let the vengeance begin! Hey! The runes are cast! Bring utter ruin on them all! Axes out, lads!
Come on.
They have wronged us! Dwarf
Ironbreaker's basically taken no damage.
To the Groby Horde. Done wrong. For the ancestors.
Take him down.
Well.
I don't want them to stop firing at the Ragnarok. We do want this Ragnarok to die because we're not going to be able to finish them all off in this fight, so... Come on, shoot it, keep it down. Okay, that's really annoying, but oh well. Hopefully it recovers and comes back. Thorek might need to get out there a little bit.
Thorek Ironbrow.
Alright, good, it's coming back.
Ranged firepower ready.
That's what I like to see. We now need to kill it.
Thorek Ironbrow. Quarrelers.
Come on, bring it down. Oh, damn it, doesn't want to die.
Up. Wrath and ruin.
Oh, did we bring it down?
For
Excellent.
the ancestors. For the Karazanko. Come on, quarrelers. Judge. Dwarf warriors. Grudge thrower. Dwarf warriors. Runesmith. It is an order.
I don't know why these. There we go. They're finally throwing stuff. Oh, he got wrecked. His health just dropped.
Axes out. Come on. Horde of vengeance. Scoff. Fight.
That you chased them down. He got hurt. How speedy our runesmith is. Well, was. Keep it up with them dwarves. Keep it up with them goblins, I should say. There we go, turn on them boosters. Catch you up. Disappointed with the proclamation of close victory. Because that Thorek got hurt fighting, well, taking on their lord and the Ragnarok. But the Ironbreakers, man, they just hold fast, and they didn't even shoot properly as well, which was really annoying. I'm not sure why they didn't throw their stuff straight away, because they are on. I'm pretty sure they're on auto fire. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they weren't. Both of these are pretty good. I would take this because we are obviously in the local province. Get some more money, more growth, more control is pretty sweet. Could take Oath Gold. Well,
We honor the ancestors.
oh wow, we properly finished him off. I wasn't expecting that. It's a shame it's local region. Like, this needs to be reworked, this goldsmith, because local region literally means here. Like, they have to be here in Carrick Zorn. If it was a local province, that wouldn't be too bad, because you will, for quite a lot of this run, you will have someone stationed in here. But it's still not great even as that. It should just be faction-wide. Lower the buff, put it to like 2% or 1%, but make it faction-wide. That would make it much more interesting rather than just local region. Because what you can do, like, have someone literally just sit here. Like, I mean, you could do, I suppose, but you can't even get that many heroes. So it's not even like a case of like you can just like keep spamming heroes. I don't think you can put them on heroes. Maybe you can. I might be wrong. Let me just.
Unbending.
To be fair, you can. So you could maybe drop some heroes in there, but like, still not worth it.
Ironbrow.
Better things. I'm not going to go with Route Marcher to start with. I'm going to go straight for more ammo. Because we're going to need that. And you could go scouting. I don't think you're wrong if you go scouting. Because we do want free items. Even though we can like create them, we do want free items. But then again, it's probably still better to go here because it's going to be a while until we buff that type of stuff up on Thorek. So let's go here and get the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Okay, now we go straight over to the Lost Plateau.
Victory for the old ways.
I care nothing for your Pyrrhic victory. Okay. I think where we were is probably the best. Yeah, okay.
We fire on your command! For Grim there!
We are going to get a bit shot up here,
Dwarf warriors!
but it is what it is.
Aye! Runesmith! Root thrower! For the ancestors! Quarrelers! Thorek Ironbrow! Shift it!
Let's get up there.
Aye! Killers! Go! Warriors! Moving out! Root thrower!
Can you not fire from where you are? I guess maybe not. Like, it's like a proper steep hill.
Killer!
Yeah, I didn't quite realise how steep that hill was. I wish you'd just start firing now as well. I don't know why you can't.
Attack the earth!
Okay, you can. Great.
Move! Down! Charge! Put those dwarven legs! Puzzle! Quarrelers! Charge! Moving out!
Alright, Ricky.
We demand
firing?
blood! Thorek Ironbrow! Fight the vengeance! Begin!
Split our units up a little bit.
Off we go! Fight! Done wrong! On our
Let's move
way!
them up. They should be pretty impervious to
Dwarf warriors!
getting shot by
War of vengeance!
goblin arrows. They're not particularly strong. That's pretty good.
Catch them! Will do!
Are they? I fire well. I still don't get why they're not firing.
Kazakan Kazakita! Anot! Quarrelers!
You are.
For the ancestor gods! Dwarf warriors!
Okay, this is all good.
Kazakan Kazakita!
Get him stuck in.
Quarrelers! Thorek Ironbrow! Step to it!
Get these guys in over here quickly before that gets built properly.
Leaderman blood! Iron breakers! Plow through!
It's all fine. Why have you stopped firing?
Stop! Let's start shooting!
It's all going alright, sort of.
We demand blood!
Disappointed that they're losing to those gobbos, but
War of vengeance! Thorek Ironbrow! Pump those
capture that.
woven legs!
not actually fighting anyone just yet. Can you just like fire your...
Kazook!
There we go. Bye bye.
Quarrelers!
That'll be ours pretty soon. It'll get rid of that tower, which will be nice.
If you like.
Excellent. That's looking pretty strong for us.
Quarrelers! Plow through! Iron breakers! Come on! God! Quarrelers!
Up, you firing on them.
The clans unite! For the Karazankor! And go! They have wronged us! Strike the runes! Quarrelers! Age, wealth, and skill! Strike
I
out!
want to run back.
Strike out! Quarrelers! Almost dwarf and legs!
Let's get Thorek around here as well.
Let the vengeance begin! Get moving! Understood! Wrong Nezama! To the forge!
Okay, good.
Go!
Hold tight.
Quarrelers! Good lad! Runes of smiting upon them!
Right, they're getting absolutely toasted in the back. They're not actually fighting. Oh, you are kind of. You've still got a couple of your little images. I wish you would throw them, but fine. These guys got absolutely butchered.
Master of Runecraft! Runriki!
Right, we'll get him around the back.
Valaya Blassaurin!
And back here.
Dwarf warriors! Right up! Bring death on them! Go!
Still scaring them
Thorek
off.
Ironbrow! Oh,
Get Thorek to steam into the side here.
Quench your bearded earth blood!
Oh, run! Swipe! Go. Don't get involved in a fight.
The runes glow. The runes are cast.
Why won't you cast? That's really good. Oh, you did. It just seemed to not want to cast properly.
Longbeards! Charge! Yes, Lord! Thorek Ironbrow!
Nice shots. down onto those gobbos. Could cast the other rune. I don't think we need to. I think this fight might be over. No, maybe not.
Thorek Ironbrow.
Oh no! That was really annoying. Wouldn't fire him earlier, but then decided to fire him when my dwarf warriors were standing around.
Wrath and ruin.
In the way, so quite a bit of collateral damage there, which was a shame, but it happens. You stay down here, actually, just in case they come back. You two run up here. It's really annoyed me that those dwarf warriors really got kicking from the Ironbreaker bombs or whatever they are. Otherwise, I would have been pretty pleased. That just annoyed me. We will just
This will do for starters. Thorek Ironbrow.
We will want to get rid of this, and we will want to put it in one of these at some stage, but for now, let's go growth, because growth is something that dwarves do not have a lot of. Let's put it that way. Right, more missile strength this time and more ammunition.
Rune Lord of
The
Karakazul.
Rune of Wrath and Ruin. We will want to get sharpened weapons, and that's another thing actually I forgot, that we didn't go through the runesmith stuff. So Master of the Forge, by the time you want to take this, you might not need it, if that makes sense. It's also only local province, so unless you're hanging out in a province with Oath Gold buildings, you know. Oath Gold isn't a problem later on, and by the time you're going to take this, isn't going to be one of the first things you take. By the time you take this, it might not really be a problem. Ancestral Grudge. By the time you do take this, you probably will be fighting greenskins, because obviously we're instantly fighting greenskins, but then won't be fighting them again for some time. But fine, you know, 15% when fighting greenskins is something. This is when you run out of good stuff to take, so you start to take this. Rune of Grimnir, not quite far off that, but similar. This is actually a little bit better just because it's dwarfs, and dwarfs are really slow, so having a bit more speed isn't awful, but again, there's a lot more important things to take before taking that. Immortality, obviously, you get. These are all the same, except not as good as what's-his-face's version, as Thorek's version is, but so I don't feel the need to go over them again, but you'll want the ones that you wanted previously, and, well, ignore, but not worry about the ones that we don't care about. You do have this, you can only do one. I mean, you can only do one. So, do you want more armor? Or do you want missile and melee damage to increase? Well, of course you want missile and melee damage to increase with dwarves, so that's what we will get. We will get scouting as well at some stage. Cleanse Corruption is okay as well. The rest obviously don't really matter because we're not on the map. Cool, and I think that's going to be the end of turn 1, unless there's something that I've forgotten. We could go through all the forge items, but I think we will wait for that until we actually start using them. One day we might live in a world where you can save that. Okie dokie. 1 hour, 1 episode. All good. Next episode, we will obviously continue through here to crush Mount Arachnos. One thing I do realise is that I forgot to actually fucking recruit any units that last turn, which is slightly annoying, but never mind. Yeah, cool. First episode of a brand new series. Please do leave a like if you do like what you've seen. If you didn't like what you've seen, leave a dislike and let me know why. Join us tomorrow and we'll continue things, but I'm quite excited about this series. It should be fun. It should be good. It's dwarves. We've got a clear goal in mind. Hopefully it doesn't get too grindy towards the end. I don't think it will, because I've got a clear... okay, so that's where we've basically just got to keep going north. That's where we've got to go to get all of our stuff. Anyway, join us tomorrow and we'll continue things. Until then, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.